For nomination of a chair for this meeting.
I would like to nominate a member, John Joe, for the role of chair this evening.
I second it.
Okay, all in favor? 5-0. Thank you.
All right, so thank you all, and welcome to our meeting. We will go ahead and start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. So thanks again, everyone, for being here this evening. We do have a special recognition to kick off our evening, and that is for the 2024 Girls Soccer Class A State Champions. And Superintendent Robinson, do you have anything you want to say?
Absolutely. First of all, congratulations to the team. Coach Tremble is here this evening to say a little bit about the team. And we'll distribute some certificates and hear a little bit more about this great season.
Now, this could be dangerous if you give me a mic.
It's
Yeah.
not-
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Hey, girl, this is more nerve-wracking than being in the state game. You know, first of all, I'd like to thank the Bangor community, the city council, and the school board for just the tremendous support that's given for all of our students and those involved in extracurricular activities. If it wasn't for that foundation for us to be able to do the things that we do both academically and athletically and extracurricular wise, and we wouldn't be Bangor High School. You know, and I think the Bangor school system is fortunate to get the support that it does from the city, the council, and from the school board. It's tremendous that we're able to do the things that we're able to do. I'd like to thank Dr. Robinson. Is this the first state championship?
Yes, it is.
First state championship, Dr. Butler. Thank you. Mr. Vanetta Stein, our faculty and staff at Bangor High School and throughout the Bangor school system. You guys work with our kids every single day. And that's what, you know, brings us pleasure, brings us joy in watching the growth of our students and all of those involved in our extracurricular activities. Parents and families out there getting kids to practices, getting them to events, the time that you put in, you know, getting them to practice, like travel practices and everything. It's an incredible ordeal that you go through to get them back and forth throughout the state. And a lot of our girls play soccer year round, which is allows them to have the skills that they have. I'd like to thank Coach Young, Coach McMahon for the time and the investment that they put, the organization to let us do the things that we are able to do. Most importantly, though, it's the players. It's you guys as student athletes that put yourselves out there every single day to be evaluated. And, you know, with the society that we're in today, criticized, you guys handle yourselves extremely well in the classroom, on the pitch, in everything that you do. And it's you guys as student athletes that bring us the most pride in watching you guys grow as people. You know, this group is incredibly intelligent. They're extremely coachable. They're skilled beyond and athletic, like there was no team that was faster than us in the state. You know, when you combine all of those attributes, it allows for you guys to do great things. And it was your skill, it was your determination, it was your togetherness that allowed us on, you know, that Saturday to be able to come away with a gold ball. You know, and they're not just great athletes. 7 are members of the National Honor Society. 6 were voted KVAC All Academic Team. And that's the academic piece that comes into all of this. I've been coaching for 38 years now. And I really think there's a correlation to really good teams and smart kids. I really think there's a correlation to that. If you're coachable and you can institute what it is that you're trying to as a team, you can go a long ways. The graduating seniors over the last 2 years, they're 33-3. They played and won 2 regional titles. They played in 2 state championships. They've won a state championship. This year, they scored 101 goals, gave up 13. You know, and when you get a difference of 88 goals, you don't lose many games. You know, and to end this, you know, about halfway through the season, things really started to click. And as a team, you know, they would get together at halftime and discuss what was going on in terms of the gameplay and practices. They would discuss, you know, how they can get better. And about halfway through the season, they started to talk about turn the page and make the next play. You know, no matter what happened, negatively, positively, it was about moving forward, making that next play. And guys, we were, you know, a lot of people don't realize that both in the regional championship and the state championship, we were down a goal. The other team scored first. But there was never any sense of panic that I thought, and there was never a time that I didn't think that we would win either one of those games. And I think that whole idea, that whole ideology of we're just gonna continue to make the next play is what pushed them to beat state champions. You know, and it's a tremendous group of young women who did some incredible things and brought great joy to Bangor High School. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you. I have some certificates that I'm happy for you to
Great,
distribute.
sure.
Congratulations once again, this is for you.
Oh.
Love the tie.
Well, thank you.
Great.
All right, so I'll have them come up, and I think Mr. Finney is going to, right on cue. Eva Coombs. I should have Coach McMahon and Coach Young come up here for us. Oh, you're gonna go right down with Mr. Finney. Jojo Kluge. Deegan Atherley. Sophia Chase. Brooklyn Schmerzel. Avery Clark. Gabby Gordon. Gabby Roy. JJ Williams. Quinn Andrews. Kyle Atherley. Kathy Snowden. Emily Adams. in Glen Gifford. Reese Trot.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Georgie Stevenson. Clara Oldenburg. Lucy O'Connell. Frank. The ciphers. Nora Ziegler. Annabelle Pierce. Lydia Hughes. Emily Calkins. Abby Karen. And I'd like to thank everybody for attending tonight, a wonderful evening, and thank you, school board, for the recognition. It's great.
Congratulations.
Get a photo.
Absolutely. So I want to arrange the team, and then I would ask that actually, if you guys could divide yourselves 3 and 4 and be on either side, I think that will work out well. So. So I'm gonna have to click on Mara and Jojo, you guys come in. It's so weird not seeing you guys wearing red. Right now, all your games. And then Emily, guys, you guys come in. JJ but get a little bit closer to Emily. Get a little closer to Gabby. I have you actually pop in kind of like right next to Nora. Because. I'll have you guys on the side.
Or do you want three from everyone?
Actually. Hold on. So now we're going to ask everyone, to do the flag shuffle that way, put your chairs in the way, keep going. Great. Keep going. Keep going. Stop right there. Okay, and now rearrange yourselves and get really close together. Coaches, can you stand with your team as well?
Ray, do you want them to hold their certificate up?
Then you need to make it. If you could actually, if you're in the front, if you could hold them at like waist height. And so they enter the line, that looks great.
Do you want the back row?
Actually, the back row, you guys can keep yours down, because it covers your face.
You don't want us to.
We can do 2, one with it up and one with it down, we'll start with it down. Okay?
My knees don't go for that one.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now girls put it up in the back. Okay. Up really high. You're done, you're good. Thank you. Thank you.
He should be the name.
I know that.
Yeah. Let it breathe, let it breathe.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
All right, so always lovely to be able to recognize some of our talented student athletes here and recognize how hard it is to achieve those goals, and at the same time maintaining their academics. Always a joy to see them when they're here. So moving along our agenda this evening, are there any adjustments to our agenda?
There are no adjustments this evening.
Okay, all right, so next we'll move on to the public comments portion of our meeting. And if you'll excuse me while I just read our brief statement before we enter public comments. Members of the public may address the school committee for up to 3 minutes on school and education matters. Public comments shall be directed to the school committee and be brief and non-repetitive. The school committee's practice is not to respond or debate with speakers during the public comment period. We are here to listen. The superintendent or her staff will follow up on comments outside of the meeting as appropriate. The committee will not permit profanity or shouting and requests that speakers be civil. Discussion of specific personnel or student matters and complaints concerning specific employees or students will not be allowed, but will be addressed through established policies and procedures. Before speaking, we encourage speakers to review School Committee Policy AC, which provides that the school committee does not and will not discriminate nor tolerate discrimination against students or employees on the basis of membership in a protected class. Speakers who share comments contrary to this policy will not be allowed to continue. Before starting, please state your name and place of residence. And do we have any comments this evening? Okay, seeing none, we will move on to superintendent's proposals and updates. Any action items this evening?
We don't have any action items.
Okay. And then we move on to our informational items, beginning with the superintendent's update.
Okay, I have an update to provide to everyone. First, I'll start with the schools. Just a few highlights. Of course, there are many, many things happening in all the schools. So I typically just pull out a few. The things to highlight at the high school, we're piloting a tobacco cessation program. And this is one that's being inserted so that it can help to be an alternative to suspension for those types of disciplinary violations. Today, I was able to participate in the Chinese Culture Day. It was actually right here in the library. A very exciting event. The students learned about all the different ethnic groups and different groups that are in China, and they were some dressed in unique garb and just sharing all about their the learning, and it was a great experience. We have Abe Lincoln doing very well with attendance, 95% in September and October. And they had a turkey trot that was sponsored by the PTO. Students ran and walked laps around Chapin Park. And last week, Vine Street celebrated our veterans with a Wreaths Across America presentation. In terms of the school department, we've identified through our safety, our school resource officer, a really helpful website that we are going to begin adding to all of the district newsletters called Connect Safely. And it really offers some great resources for parents around online safety for their children. The staff survey update, I had listed 150 responses, but I checked it today and we're up to 174. So that's wonderful. Lots of staff participation, more information on that to come. Schools have shared out the PBIS climate survey with families, so we'll learn more about those results in the coming month or two. And I would like to thank all of the school committee for a successful retreat on Monday. It was great to be able to get together and do some discussion and planning. And then yesterday, we had our DEIB Advisory Committee. This was our first meeting to start with, and it was off to a good start. I think we have a solid plan, and that really entails reviewing the proposals over the last 3 to 4 years and identifying which ones make sense to begin implementation, and then developing that plan so that we can see, some of the work that has been done put into action. In terms of the region and state, I think it was just yesterday, I had an interview with the DOE following the Measure What Matters initiative. And this was also connected to the REV work that I had done in my previous district, really around innovation and how do we begin to innovate in our public schools so that we can make sure that we stay current and are implementing the best practices. So that was great to be able to highlight what has been done in the past, but I also had an opportunity to highlight some of the great things that I've learned and have experienced being here in Bangor. So that was great. I don't know that when that will be published, but I can share that. And coming up on November 25th, I'll be attending the UTC meeting around the academic crosswalk with Dr. Butler. And essentially what that is the UTC team has identified areas within the programs that could potentially offer credit for students who are attending. So that meeting will go a little bit deeper into that discussion, and from that, there'll be further results that I will share. Any questions? Member Carey?
Can you talk a little bit about the tobacco cessation program? I'm not familiar with it.
I don't have a tremendous amount of details. I don't know if Dr. Butler has more maybe than I do.
Yeah, so it's just below surface level. Tim Reed, one of our assistant principals, has taken the lead on this, and Brian Doyle. It's been in partnership with the city of Bangor. I think it's the umbrella grant follows through them, and it goes hand in hand to some degree with the tobacco settlement money that came our way. So in combination with the vape sensors, which we're still looking to operationalize and install. It's called My Quit, and it's research-based, to a degree voluntary. There needs to be some sort of acceptance that the student wants to be involved. Just like anything else, kind of starts with a place of desire to consider that as a self-reflection. And as superintendent mentioned, we're seeing it as a way to divert away from traditional discipline. And there is a disciplinary component to this. There are things that aren't supposed to be had in schools, certainly aren't supposed to be used, and certainly aren't on any list of healthy behaviors for young people. So it's in the context of ownership, in this concept of personal health and wellness, future health, and a way to turn a negative into a positive, a consequential situation into something that has more positive consequences as a student moves on. So Tim Reed's the actual expert. I'll ask him tomorrow to give me a review on how well I did. That's 5,000 foot, as I see it. That's going to be a valuable program.
Helpful. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you for that. Any reasonable alternatives to suspension? I'm happy to hear from.
Any other questions on the superintendent's report? Member Carey?
Sorry, the staff survey, I'm interested, I'm not sure if it's, this type of survey is done in years past, but how many staff, would you anticipate, responding? 150 or 175 or 174 sounds, good, but I don't know what's typical in years past, how many staff are currently,
Yeah, I'd have to look into the percentages. Typically, I'd say about 20% return rate I like to see or above. So, I'd have to get the actual numbers, but I think that would be coming pretty close. And again, it's overall staff, in all departments. One thing I did leave out, not about the survey, but that I am serving lunch tomorrow at Dowie. I missed that on there, so that's exciting, looking forward to that.
Excellent. Any other questions before we move along?
Just one more question.
I don't know.
As a school committee member, one of the reasons I wanted us to run is so I could serve lunch. When does that happen?
Oh, great.
Just kidding, but I still want to do it.
End of December.
Oh,
Nice.
nice.
Okay, end of December, you could watch for that
Okay.
announcement and invitation.
Okay.
I know, we've all been
We were
chomping at the bit,
promised,
except
yeah,
for
we
member
were
Brian. Fabulous. All right, any other questions before we move along? All right, so next are informational items. We have report of resignations.
I'm reporting the following resignations. Taylor Blackwell, 0.5, winter JV cheering, the Bangor High School. Jasmine Carver, 0.5, winter JV cheering at the Bangor High School.
Okay, thank you. All right, next we move on to our business action items, of which we do have just a few, starting with the minutes, and our organizational meeting minutes of November 13th, 2024.
I'd like to recommend the approval of the draft minutes of November 13th, 2024 organizational school committee meeting and the November 14th, 2024 regular school meeting. So moved.
Again, all in favor?
5-0.
Excellent. All right, next up, we have the financial reports.
I'd like to recommend approval of the August financial report.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
5-0.
And next within personnel, we have extra duty assignments.
I'd like to recommend approval of the following extra duty assignments for the 24-25 school year. Jason Smith for the boys JV basketball coach at the Bangor High School. Justin Smith for the boys freshman basketball coach at the Bangor High School.
Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
5-0.
All right, and up next, committee member Shelley O'Carey will read the following donations for our donations.
Thank you. To James F. Dowdy School from C&L Aviation, clothes and shoes for students, having a total dollar value of $1,414.53. Much appreciated. I would like to move to have this donation accepted.
Second.
All in favor?
5-0.
All right, do we have any introduction items?
No, we don't.
All right, so up next, we have committee updates, and I know that we've just had our reorganizational meeting, but are there any committee updates to be shared this evening? I don't think it is
I
not
think
yet.
I'll just, not to reiterate what Dr. Robinson already shared with the DEIB Advisory Committee, but I think and I hope that this year will be a very productive one for the DEIB Advisory Committee. Not that it wasn't in past years, but I love the kind of the reformatting where we'll have the internal BSD staff each month, and then the entire group every other month. And that will really allow for us to focus on internal procedures for implementing. I know that was something that was brought to us several times, actionable timelines, actionable steps to take. And so this is exciting. And then we've all agreed to report out more often instead of a one-time 3-hour meeting. So that will be really instrumental this year.
Excellent.
Thank you.
And my apologies, I did skip over one item, which is comments and questions from the committee, our kind of generic bucket. Are there any comments or questions from the committee? No? All right. So we capture that, and seeing no other committee reports, I'll hand it over to member Crespo for our student committee member update.
Okay, so I don't have very much today. I wanted to start off by saying that the Bangor High School's performance of The Little Mermaid is Thursday and Friday and Saturday of this week. Thursday and Friday at 7 o'clock and 2 o'clock on Saturday, and the tickets are $5, not 10. Basketball and hockey will begin their preseason games this coming week. Phil the Owl Fund is scheduled for December 27th. And Ryan Warwick won the design competition for the shirts, so those shirts will be there for purchasing.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Any questions for Member Crespo? No? All right. No reports, right? No? Okay. So next up, we have our information items and a few key important dates. Do I read this part out? That's the part I can't remember. Okay. So we have Wednesday, December 11th, 2024, a regular meeting, 7 p.m. here in the Bangor High School Library. Friday, December 20th, 2024 is Bangor Day. Wednesday, January 8th, 2025, regular meeting, 7 p.m. Bangor High School Library. And Wednesday, January 22nd, 2025, our regular meeting, 7 p.m. Bangor High School Library. And with that, are there any other questions or comments for the committee? I do have one before we jump in. I just wanted to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, a much needed break. I know you have parent teacher conferences to get through, everybody who's in the room, and that's, you know, a few days of work coming up, but we wish you luck with that. Hopefully you have, you know, some extra parents on hand with some support staff. You can always reach out. But have an enjoyable holiday.
Safe holiday, everyone.
All right, seeing no other questions or comments, then I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Bravo.
Good job.
Here, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's, yeah. I should have checked that.
You get, you